How does our face age? Yes, it does age because of biology, our genes, and nutrition, but it also ages in the way we handle ourselves, handle our environment, and how we take care of it. In this video, we're going to be discussing what is it that we can do to not only slow aging, but in some cases, reverse it. Let's go. So yes, there's a larger premise of the fact that we age because of our genes and our biology. And that is why we find families where everybody looks a certain age earlier or continues to defy age well into their senior years. So yes, genes and biology do affect your face. But what really affects our face and very few people talk about is in the way we handle our lives. In fact, one old age nursing home nurse was asked and interviewed on how does she know more about her patients. And one of the most telling things she shared was that she knows by the expression of the face of the kind of life they led. Were they happy people? Were they people who were always worried and stressed? Or were they generally angry people? That is the power of expression that we lead from day to day well into our senior years. So how can we help it? Well, the thing that nobody talks about is the stress of day-to-day living. It's the stress of bad relationships or even general stress at home or the stress at work. Stress is an expression that gets locked onto a face. You could try this small experiment at home. When you're really worried or stressed about something, catch yourself in the mirror. You'll be amazed with your expression. That expression over a period of time forms an imprint on our face, whether it's anger, worry, or just sadness. And whenever we are locked in this stressful situation, that expression forms wrinkles or lines on our face. It could be the 11 over here, it could be the worry lines on our forehead, it could be even nasal lines of this, it could be lines here. And over a period of time, these expressions become deeper and deeper into our face. So how does one get out of it? And here is a trick that works very well. How do we worry? We generally worry by thinking over a situation that's happened to us. The unpleasantness goes on in our mind over and over and over again in a loop. The thing with the brain is it loves the comfort of just doing the same thing over and over again. So it loves to be in loops. That is why it is so hard for us to get out of a stressful situation, because it's just so much easier to be locked into it and to keep thinking about it. However, if you want to change that loop, here are 4 things you can do. Number 1, catch yourself when you're in the situation and ask yourself, is my worry really helping me change the scenario? Is it helping me change anything that's happened in the past? More often than not, we'll find that there's nothing much that we can do, but our brain just likes to be in this loop. So a good thing to do is to distract the brain. Which brings us to the second thing you can do to break the loop. Read. Do something that you really enjoy, like cooking. Give your brain a distraction. Whatever distraction that you really enjoy. It could be just going out for a walk, going out for a run, or going to read, or doing something that really gives you a lot of pleasure. The moment the brain gets a distraction, it actually tends to step away and start new loops. Try it. It's a very tricky thing, but it helps. The third thing you could do is actually go back to when you were your happiest, when you were a child or a teenager, or maybe when you were in your early 20s, or if you are in your early 20s when you were much younger. Go back to a situation which gave you real pure joy, whether it was spending time with your friends, or whether it was seeing television, or whether it was doing an activity that you really enjoyed. A lot of us move so much away from what we loved as children that we forget how important play is to our lives. Even as adults, play is a very important part of our life. It, for that moment of time, gives us complete release from the situation that's troubling us. It actually upregulates the good happy hormones like the oxytocin, and that gives us a good rush and actually helps decrease the stress. So it's a very important part of helping you fight stress. The fourth thing you could do is give your brain a challenge. Try something new, something you never thought you could possibly do. The moment there's a challenge for the brain, it gives it a different loop to enter, and therefore cuts away the repetitive habit of going over the same stressful loop that it's been used to. Initially, you'll find resistance from your body as well as your brain, because really our brains are very, very lazy. They don't want to try something new, and that is why a lot of us are so hesitant to try something new. Even though we admire people who keep doing something new, but our brain inherently stops us. So fight that initial resistance and commit yourself to learning something new. Along with helping ourselves emotionally fight stress and get onto a place where we are happier, more content, and more playful, and actually enjoying life, it's also important to take care of your skin topically to actually stop the aging process physically. And that is an easier battle in terms of buying the ingredients. The tougher part is in following a skincare routine. Remember, consistency wins over everything. The first thing you're going to do in your consistent skincare rituals is to cleanse your skin. And cleansing is not a quick wash. It is something that you commit yourself to at least a minute, where you give yourself a nice double cleanse. I've done a deep video on double cleanse. Do have a look, it's going to be listed here as well as in the description box. Double cleanse not only helps clean our skin, but a clean skin also is able to breathe better. When it's able to breathe better, it's just able to stay healthier for a longer period of time. So cleansing is a very, very important step. A good breathing skin is able to absorb nutrition very well. And the first thing in nutrition is to use a great moisturizer. It can be something as simple as the Nivea moisturizer also, because really moisturizers just require 4 to 5 things. They don't require very complicated ingredients. I've done a very comprehensive video on what really goes into anti-aging products. Do have a look. It's going to be listed in the description as well as a link here. Invest in good moisturizing ritual for your skin. And last but definitely not the least, invest in a good sunscreen. Sunscreen is able to protect us from the absolutely devastating radiation of the sun. The radiation from the sun not only tans ourselves, which we're able to see, but is also able to age us very, very dramatically and deeply. It actually makes the wrinkles deeper, gives us uneven skin tone, which tends to make the face look aged and also grey. But it also has an effect on the DNA, which is not healthy at all. Before I finally sign off, remember, good skin and good hair are as dependent on good nutrition as well as mental wellness as they are on the products that you're going to use on them to take care of them. So do not neglect your nutrition. Vitamins, minerals not only help us stay healthy, but they also fortify our skin to fight simple infections. They also fortify our hair to take a whole lot of abuse of styling as well as products and stay healthy well into our senior years. And equally important is mental wellness. Mental wellness is so incredibly important because it has a physical effect on the hormonal structure of our body. Whenever we are in stress, it gives rise to cortisol. And cortisol is such a strong hormone that's advised to patients when they are having an organ transplant. It is actually given to patients as a medical medicine to down-regulate the immune system, because a down-regulated immune system cannot fight invasions. And that is the power of cortisol. So every time you are stressed, please keep in mind how dangerous it is actually for your body internally. Even though we can't see it, it has a physical effect on it. So whenever you find yourself in a stressful situation, take a step back and acknowledge the physical effect cortisol is having on your body. Every minute of being stressed is upregulating the cortisol and downregulating your immune system, making you vulnerable to a host of medical issues, skin and hair being the least of your worries. A few good things that help us fight cortisol very well is meditation. It's incredibly important. Start small, even with 2 to 3 minutes to begin with, but you can work it out to 10 to 15 minutes. And meditation is not about blocking your thoughts. It's about understanding your thoughts, understanding your breath, and staying calm and staying in the moment. There's a ton of help available on how to start meditation. Do give it a try. Another thing that really helps in down-regulating stress is to understand there's so much for us to be grateful for. So writing a gratitude journal really physically moves our focus from delving on things that we don't have or we are not happy about to things that we have to be so grateful about. It's an absolute game shifter for fighting stress as also evolving as a person. The third thing is exercise. Physical exercise is not only related to weight loss, which is always good, but it also upregulates the good hormones in our body, the happy hormones in our body, the oxytocin, which not only helps us get into a happier, positive mood, but also helps down-regulate the cortisol. So it kind of makes sure the cortisol goes down, and therefore we move from a stressful situation to a happier, more pleasant situation. And the biggest thing, let's be kind to ourselves. If we were a different person, I think we would be so much more kinder and gentler to that person. At the end of it, we owe it to ourselves to first be good to ourselves and be kind to ourselves. It's only once we make the leap of being kinder and gentler and loving to ourselves are we able to extend those three things to other people. Which translates into that if you don't have it for yourself, how can you give it to another person? If I don't have a shirt to give to a beggar, I can't help that person. If you don't love ourselves, if we don't care for ourselves as gently, it's hard to do that for someone else. And that kind of hardens our heart over a period of time. It changes our expression over a period of time and actually results in aging. It's so deeply connected, the biology of our feelings to the expressions on our face. So be careful of the next thought that comes to you slowly and softly. Till I meet you next time, take care and stay safe. Ciao.